Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, time to go check on. There he is. Hey, Simba. Good morning, buddy. Did you take care of things all night? Huh? Did you take care of things all night? Did you? Things okay out here? Are things okay out here? Good morning, everybody. Beautiful morning here in God's country, southeastern Oklahoma. It's Wednesday morning, August the 12th, if I remember right. Oh, I already had my coffee and breakfast, and had breakfast a couple hours ago. Oh, there's Rabbit. That's the only green spot left in our yard right there, and you know what's up underneath the ground there coming out of the house, if you know what I mean. So it's the only green spot, and I'm not getting out there and mowing that right yet. It's too hot. I'm too lazy. That little green spot ain't hurt nothing, if you know what I mean. So, but there's a little Rabbit out there getting him some green grass, I guess. All right, Wednesday morning. Oh, this has been a week so far. Ups and downs, highs and lows. I tell you, it's been a little stressful. It's been, as in my last video, I've been working a case and doing some stuff. And yesterday, I tell you what, I was flustered over a deal, and I just went and I went down to a small town and I just sat down there. We've been having some issues in that little small town, and I just sat down there and I made a couple of 3 traffic stops, made my presence known, and took care of one issue that our nighttime deputies, evening shift deputies, have been dealing with for a while. And I gave him his last warning. Told him this is stopping, or else. One of those type of deals. I ain't getting no more complaints. And he didn't know I was there, and he went zipping by, and then he knew I was there. But hopefully I got my point across to him, and he understands now. We're not putting up with that no more. But I just had to get out and go, if you know what I mean, and get back to my roots of a patrol guy. And just sat there and watch cars go by. I sat outside of Kenna. It was Kenna. And I sat outside the school and just flashed some cars that was going through a little bit fast in the school zone. Stopped a couple. Dealt with one guy, a little bit of marijuana stuff. And just had to get out and get back to my roots of just being a patrol guy. And I felt better afterwards. Then I came back to town and took care of some paperwork and some academy stuff. We got this reserve academy that I'm coordinating, and I'm the coordinator on, and we're fixing to end our legal block, our legal matters session, which is our Prog 1, fixing to end it, and they're fixing to take their exam next week on Tuesday. And then we go into firearms. So I'm trying to get ready for firearms, and I've had problems with this academy. Not with the cadets or nothing, but with getting a firearms instructor, to tell you the truth. I'm on my 4th one, and I think I got it lined out now, but I had to send him paperwork and stuff and get his stuff ready and get ready for firearms. And so took care of that, been stressed about that, and, we're going to be on the range for 2 solid weekends, and if you hadn't noticed, it's hot in southeastern Oklahoma right now, so I'm worried about that. Don't want nobody getting sick. Don't want nobody getting hurt, out there being out in the heat. I don't want to get hurt either because I'm going to be out there with them. And just a little stressed. And, church and family and this and that. And I went to part of the Reserve Academy last night during their legal stuff is their courtroom practicum. Took them to the courtroom. We all met at the courtroom in the courthouse here in Stigler, and our DA was there. Our judge is on vacation. Usually we have the judge there, and he'll make some talks to them and show them stuff. But DA James Green, our district attorney for District 18, Judicial District 18 here, did a great job talking to them, and I talked to them, and I think they enjoyed our time in the courtroom. And it's important for them to get to know what a courtroom is before they have to come in and testify for the first time. And I always enjoy that courtroom practicum. And then I was able to go home and relax. And if you saw the videos from last night, if you don't know, if you're new to me, you're new to our, I guess this is a channel or my Facebook or whatever you want to call it, whichever platform you're on right now. If you don't know, our son Jacob we adopted him last year. He came from a domestic violence, a child abuse, child neglect type home from his bio dad. I worked the case on the bio dad, ended up filing charges. He was put into the foster system, and that didn't work out, and he was fixing to get sent off to probably a worse situation. And I couldn't allow that. I'm also a DARE instructor, and he was in my DARE classes at McCurtain School when he was down there. And I'd always told him, if there's anything I can do, I'll do anything I can to try to protect you. Well, sometimes when we talk about stuff, sometimes we get called out on it. And whenever it was that was during the termination of the parental rights hearing, I had to come testify to it. And the DHS workers was telling me, well, he's fixing to, his time's up in the foster care, and he's fixed to have to go to a big home, boys' home or something like that. There's no telling where he's going to be, no telling what's going to happen. And I was asking, I was upset. I was like, there's no way he can stay in Haskell County. No. And bless her heart, one of our local DHS workers, she's pretty straightforward. And she says, Mitch, you preach about helping these kids. Ain't you got a big new house with some extra bedrooms? And I was like, well, yeah, but what's that have to do with anything? Well, you got an extra room, and this kid needs one. And she just put it up there on blast, put me on blast in front of people. And I was like, whoa. She says, you preach about it, maybe it's time for you to step up and do something, and that hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, I told this kid that I would do anything to protect him, and now it's time. So I went and got my wife, and I went to her clinic and sat down with her. She thought something was really bad, wrong. And it was. I had a kid that was in trouble, And we sat down and we prayed about it, and the good Lord works in mysterious ways. And I called the DHS worker and said, what would it take to get him in my house? Just foster at the time. And she's like, let me do some working on it. Well, a couple of foster workers and foster workers that, we knew them. And they're like, he's a great kid and this, that, and he just needs a chance, but we can't do it right now that we got kids of our own and stuff. And I was like, well, I talked to DHS, and they're like, let's do some checking. And the next thing I know, an attorney was calling, and he's my local attorney too. And he's like, heard you're interested in Jacob. And I said, yeah. And he's like, I will help you any way I can. And I was like, okay. Next thing I know, he's in our spare bedroom. And, he's disclosed some stuff to us, what he's been through and this and that. I learned the backstory on him. His mom died when he was little, and he was with her whenever she died. And, he wasn't able to get out of the apartment or nothing. He was in the same apartment with her for most of the day while she was passed, until neighbors finally checked on him. Dad wasn't worth a crap. His bio. He's divulged some terrible stuff, and he's been through the fire. And sometimes we have to step forward and help our kids, even when it's not our own regular, what we think of our own regular bio kids. We have to step forward. And there are some wolves in this world, and we have to protect our kids, our sheep, because they're coming after our kids. And we made the decision. We talked to him and this and that. We made the decision to adopt him. He wanted to be adopted for his 11th birthday. I mentioned this in the video last night. And so we got him adopted on his 11th birthday. That's all he wanted, was just to be adopted. He didn't want anything else. We got that done. We've had him since May of last year. This is August now of 2026. We've had him since May of 2025. And he's got his problems. He's an 11-year-old boy. He's a knucklehead and this and that. He's got his problems. He's got some issues physically that we're working through. And, of course, everybody knows about his eye injury and this and that. We're working through it, his eyesight. He's got some OCD. He's got some ADHD. He's got some oppositional compulsive disorder or whatever it's called. He's got that we're working through and this and that. But all in all, he's a great kid. He loves going to church. He loves the Lord. And all in all, he just needs a chance, and that's what we're willing to give him in love. And back to the story. Had a tough day yesterday, and been a tough week since Sunday. I missed Sunday evening church, the pastor of Stigler First Free Baptist Church, because I was working on this case. And, there's times when the job of the police job, I have to be there sometimes. It doesn't happen a lot, but every once in a while, just a few times a year, I have to go take care of this. I'm blessed at our church to have Brother David Bigger, who used to be the pastor at the church. He's still there, and he can step forward and bring messages and drug services and stuff when I'm not available to be there. But I missed church Sunday evening and took care of this, and it's been a tough week. I've got some other cases I've been working on. And I got home last night, and I didn't know Shondell was doing it. But she came and told me, says Jacob's on his phone with his brother and his grandma, his bio brother and bio grandma. And I was like, really? And she goes, yeah. And so I just let him be, until later on when the shock wore off, I went in there and, just smiled at him, But he was able to talk to his bio brother that he hadn't talked to in about 5 years. Hadn't seen or talked to in 5 years, and his bio grandma that he calls his nanny. And, that just lifted my spirits up last night. Just made me feel so good. Sometimes we need to be revitalized a little bit. Sometimes it comes from a little 11-year-old that, he was so taken by surprise. And you could see the look on his face when he realized, if you saw the video, when his brother said, this is Justin. His brother's named Justin. He's older than him by 4 years, I think. And he said, this Justin, he goes, is it really you? And he goes, yeah. And he teared up and about started crying, because he loves his brother. He just ain't been able to see him because of this stuff. And we've been working on trying to get them a meeting and this and that. But like I said last night, I believe that Justin and his grandma are pretty, well, let's just say they're pretty poor from what I can tell. And they don't have the money to, run around or nothing like that. So we're going to make it happen. We're going to give him a meet up with his brother here pretty soon and go from there. And we've been working on that. Just have to be a little bit cautious because we're not sure of the family situation and stuff there. We don't want to rush into anything. The mama bear and daddy bear still have to be a little bit protective, have to do some checking on stuff. But it just raised my spirits last night to see him be so happy to get to hear from his brother. The good Lord works in mysterious ways. And, we can go from having a bad day to, man, feeling so good last night. Wasn't hardly able to sleep last night again because of that. I was thinking about it. And I was like, man, thank you, Lord. That really brightened my day up. So anyways, me and Simba, we're out here. I've done had my coffee, had my time with the good Lord. He's been out here all night long, keeping an eye on things. He's still watching right now, looking around. He's watching that rabbit. That rabbit's still over there in that green spot. And he's been keeping that. You been keeping an eye on things, buddy? Yep. He's our big protector around here. But y'all, when things start getting you down and stuff, just trust that, when there's a storm cloud in your life or there's a storm going on, the tempest has begun and it's the storm of your life, just remember, every storm cloud has a silver lining. Them dark nights, there's always a daybreak coming. There's always the next Sunday morning is coming. The sun is going to shine in the morning one way or another. We just got to hang on. Just got to hang on. Boy, I tell you, I'm having to remind myself of that quite a bit here in the last month and a half. Sometimes I guess we have to be reminded. It could be so much worse. It could be so much worse. We were just, everything was going great and this and that. And then June 27th happened and Jacob's accident with his eye. And that changed the course of, our lives there pretty quick. It really did. It definitely changed Jacob's life. And made us start realizing there's more important stuff in life. And I think we needed that wake-up call as a reminder. It's not about houses and cars and hot rods and, all that stuff, superficial. But what's important is an 11-year-old boy, 16-year-old girl that we're there for, and the rest of our kids, our church, work. I'm an old guy now. I am working with the kids and grandkids of people I used to work with. Lane Henderson is a perfect example. I'll name him by name. He don't care. He's one of our tribal officers here, one of our light horsemen for Choctaw Nation. I worked with his daddy when his dad was new in law enforcement, a young man. I remember Lane when he was little, and now I'm working with him all the time. I helped train him. I used to be his boss. Fired him a couple times. I used to call him Young Squire whenever he was learning how to be the police. Now he's a fine officer, fine investigator, fine officer. I really like working with Lane. Cousin Lane, he's actually my cousin too, in real life, blood cousin. And, I'm working with, I call them kids still. I'm working with kids of people I used to work with. I'm that old. And people have asked me, when are you going to retire? I've been working here at Haskell County since 2001. When are you going to retire? When are you going to retire? It's coming, but not anytime in the immediate near future that I can tell. I still got my kids to take care of, if you know what I mean. And I still got some young squires to train. And one of these days I'm going to realize that it's time. But that time's on down the road, but it's still quite a ways down the road. And that's why I stick around. Try to help these guys. And, I can't run anymore. My knees are bad back, and this, that, and everything else. But I can still, I'm not as good as I used to be, but I can still, my mind is still pretty sharp. I can give them some good knowledge, good information whenever they need it. They can call me in the middle of the night. I'm going to answer the phone. On the weekends, I'm answering the phone, and I'll either give them an answer or I'll find an answer and let them know, And if I can tell in their voice they're really stressed, I'm coming. And that's the way us older guys are supposed to be, taking care of the young ones. And that's where we're supposed to be at church too. That's where we're supposed to be in our houses, our homes. Take care of the young ones. Do what we have to. Sometimes it's tough. Sometimes you lose sleep. Several nights in a row, you might not be able to sleep very good because of cases and stuff. But that's the part of it. That's the part that people don't see for law enforcement. They think we're all bad and this and that. We're all crooked. They don't see this part. If they only knew. They only knew. They had to do some of the stuff that we have to do. They would have a totally different attitude towards law enforcement. So that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm going to get off the phone. I got to get in here, finish my time with the good Lord, get another cup of coffee. I got a training class today. It's called Kara's Story. It's about domestic violence. Kara was a lovely lady, and unfortunately she had some local ties here, had a very strong local tie here to Haskell County. And unfortunately she was involved in a domestic violence situation, and she tried to get away from him. Unfortunately, a lot of times, the most horrible things can happen on these type of situations. And unfortunately, a wolf got her, and it killed her. And that's what we're going to hear about today through her daughter, who is now an advocate, a domestic violence advocate. And the daughter, Alyssa, her dad I used to work with. I still work with, Travis. And I love Travis. He's a good investigator, good officer. And he called me last week. I was on my way back from Norman from doing the forensic interview. And he said, hey, is there any way, I know it's last minute, but we really need to put on this Kara Story. And it's the end of the summer. Is there any way we can get down there to Stigler and host this? Because I'm all about these type of classes. I'm like, let me make some phone calls. 5 minutes later, we had it scheduled and this and that. That was Thursday last week, and we're having the class today. And this is an important class. I'm a domestic violence survivor myself. Unfortunately, I've had some domestic violence stuff in my life. And, I'm still dealing with it to this day, and I'm 53 years old, the aftermath of it. And, it's tough. And this type of class, Kara's story, just is so good. And Alyssa does such a good job. And Travis teaches about this stuff in our academies and training classes, and John's story and this and that he's done. If you're from this area, you've heard about John's story that him and Jody Thompson Chief over in Poto Police Department puts on. And they're doing it again, by the way. And it's so important to go to classes like this. Everybody wants young officers. If you made it 20 minutes into it, young officers, quit worrying. Yeah, it's great to do all the fun stuff, put on all that tactical stuff and go out and sit on the side of the road and stop cars and looking for dope and speeders and this and that. Take all that crap off and go to training classes like this. Sit in there and learn about how to save people's lives in domestic violence situations. I hear it all the time. Well, he never touched her. I couldn't arrest him, never touched her. Learn the law. They will tell me what they had and this and that, what he was doing or she was doing. And I'm like, why didn't you arrest him? Well, he never touched her. She never touched him. I was like, dude, you could have put him in jail for this and this and that. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that. I was like, look it up. Look at your elements. So young officers, get into a training class. If you ain't got nothing going on today, KTC, Comanche Tech Center here in Stigler, 9 o'clock. Come get your hours. We'll get you cleat hours, and this is good training. Good training. Also has mental health in it. All right, so I'm going to get off here, go in here and finish up my stuff. I've said it twice now. I know. I'm kind of just, it's one of the mornings, you know what I mean? I'm going to have some more time with the good Lord and get ready for this day, the rest of this week, and go from there. Ain't that right, Simba? Simba. He's like, leave me alone. I'm sorry. Goodness. All right. Y'all have a great evening. I'm going to count you out myself. Or a great morning. Sorry. Y'all have a great day. I'm going to count you out myself since Bub ain't here. 1, 2, 3. Y'all have a great day. God bless. See ya.